Stage 13 of the Global Champions League. Just 3 stages to go until the end of the season. And believe it or not, this will be our final time that we compete in the Global Champions League here on grass. With Rome and Saudi to come, this is the riders' final opportunity to compete on that beautiful grass top here at the Longines Tops International Arena. Welcome to GCTV and welcome to Mark Lewis. Welcome to everybody here. It is fantastic to be here in the Netherlands, getting ready for what so many people, in particular the Longines Global Champions Tour and of course the Global Champions League, consider home. We are delighted to be home here at the very first where it all began from a Global Champions League perspective back in 2016. And of course for Longines Global Champions Tour, even that much further back to the early 2000s. If you think about the Global Champions League, that 2016 season, going back to Valkenswaard United winning here the very first season, going on to become the most successful team in GCL history. But since then, they have struggled to replicate that form that saw them win the title again in 2021. It has been an indifferent season for Valkenswaard United, and I wonder if today, this weekend, may well be a different case for them, for the title, and maybe just for their overall ambitions in the rest of the season. The giant warm-up ring, the hospitality just behind the iconic Spider, and of course, as we mentioned, that grass top here at the Longines Tops International Arena, housing us for Stage 13 of the Global Champions League. We have a lot to talk about in the show. We will be welcoming Madrid in Motion team manager Eric van der Vleuten into the studio in a few moments' time because we want to talk about Madrid in Motion. There, in fact, is our GCTV studio. Can we turn? Can we wave? We can say hello. The drone can grab us. See where they're catching us. There we are. What a great shot. Welcome to GCTV. This is the Global Champions League, and this is indeed an exciting weekend of GCL. Talking about Madrid Emotion, talking about Eric van der Vleuten. He'll be coming in a few moments' time. What about Prague Lions? We talked to them about arguably their final shot at taking a stab inside the GCL top 4 positions. Can they get into the GCL Super Cup semi-finals at the end of the year in their home event? And then just how good are Prague Lions compared to what the rest of the teams are looking at? So how good then are the Paris Panthers? How good are Razorback International? I'll speak to Frederick de Backer. We'll talk about the numbers and we'll try to put into perspective how outrageously good these two have been in the 2023 season. That and more coming up here on GCTV as we get ready for so much, as we get ready to talk to you about all of that. For now though, let's talk about contenders. Let's talk about the teams that have been knocking on the door for Paris Panthers, knocking on the door for Razorback International, and there's no denying that that is indeed Madrid in Motion.
Our championship leaders, they bring in Eric van der Vleuten. Competitive round coming up. Only the second clear. Van der Vleuten, both in Z and OP. There's a clear 72.29 seconds. Can he make that inside turn work? Oh, and with that, he gets the back rail. It's going to be a very close call. Miami winners, championship leaders. It's going to come down to time here in Mexico City. 75.57 is the challenge. He checks once and twice, but he's going to get the time right, but only just. What's it going to be? Oh my goodness! 75.75. He is just too slow. The final fence and clear just in time. Ooh, that is too slow to be competitive. Here comes Aznar, looking for 62.34. Aznar is going to do it. He surprises each and every one of us. I never knew this horse had that gear. Mark McCauley, GRS Lady Amaro, to keep the team in second place and to keep the team with a chance of the podium. That is one great round from Mark McCauley and Lady Amaro. With the trophy for the second place finishes for Mark McCauley, for Laura Krauts.
It's Madrid in Motion. A team that won in Miami. They were third in Mexico, second in Saint-Tropez, second in Paris. team with great heritage, history, of course, in the league. First ever winners of the Super Cup back in 2018. Brilliant clear, Madrid in motion, moving forward. Not only would he guarantee Madrid a podium, ooh, no, he's had the fence, it won't be the clear, but it could still be the lead and a guaranteed podium here. It could even be good enough for a win. Madrid in motion, back on the podium once again.
So a brief look back at the season that has been for Madrid in motion, and in all normal seasons, that will be regarded as an incredibly strong season. Very strong performances. Yes, Riesenbach and Paris have lifted their level, but there's no denying that this has been an outstanding season for Madrid in motion. Joined now in studio by team manager, team rider, of course, Erik van der Vleuten. Erik, thank you for joining us. You were able to watch a little bit of that. I wonder, in seeing that, how would you describe the season thus far for Madrid in motion?
Yeah, I think we had a pretty good season this year. We had, like you just told me, 5 times a podium. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, it's always hard to make a good selection, you know, with the riders and the horses. You have to think also about the horses, you know, that you don't overjump them because there's also a Grand Prix. Mm-hmm. So, okay, we try always with the 3 riders and the 6 horses we have on the show. We try always to make the strongest team every leg.
So we've done the maths and we've tried to work out who at this stage of the season is still in the championship, who is not inside the championship. Mathematically, Madrid in motion are still inside the championship race. Let me show you what Madrid in motion need to go on and win the title from here, because technically, mathematically, it is still possible for Madrid in motion to get on top of the podium, but it is going to be difficult. There's no denying that. What Madrid in motion need to do to win the title? Win every next stage, Erik. Valkenswaard, Rome and Riyadh. Nothing less. First place in each of those 3 stages to follow. Make sure that it is a maximum points haul for Madrid in motion in each of those. Paris Panthers cannot get onto the podium at any of those 3 events. This week in Valkenswaard, Rome and Riyadh, Paris Panthers cannot get onto the podium. And there's another factor, I'm afraid, to add to that. Riesenbach International must stay outside of the top 12. It sounds like a long shot. Mathematically, it's still in the bag. But I wonder, if you read stuff like that, talk to me. Is the conversation that there is still a chance, or has Madrid in motion moved the conversation away from winning the championship and just holding to top 4?
Yeah, I think you have to be realistic. What you just described is a theory, but I think on the shows it's not going to happen. So we have to be realistic, and we have to be so good as possible every league now who's coming. And like you said, we have to try to be in the top 4 and maybe try to get second or third. But that's also going to be hard. We know the teams who are in front of us. So yeah, if we are realistic, we have to be very happy if we stay in the top 3 or 4.
I see a lot of the team has relied on Michael and Eduardo. They've jumped 26 rounds between the 2 of them. The rest of the 4 riders have jumped 20 rounds. So there is a reliance on Michael. There's a reliance on Eduardo. Do you feel maybe the lack of balance has cost Madrid in motion maybe throughout the season, if there's too much reliance on those 2 riders?
No, I don't think so. I think also Eduardo, he did quite a lot in the beginning of the season. After Madrid, he didn't do a show yet, so he's also not here in Valkenswaard. He's going to do again normally Rome and Riyadh. So no, I don't think we overdid the riders and the horses so far. But okay, they had to do. They did anyway a lot of those rounds. Yes.
How are you feeling about today's lineup? For those that are interested, Jack Whittaker comes into round 1. Michael van der Vleuten comes in for round 1 as well. No Beauville, of course, he'll be preserved to what is becoming an outstanding LGCT Championship challenge with Harry Smolders. That conversation we have tomorrow. But Divis comes in. Round 1 today for Madrid in motion. Talk to me about the lineup you've selected. Why Jack? Why Michael?
Yeah, I think Divis has been good. Michael's horse the last few shows, so we take him for the first round. Also, Jack is in good form. He did a very nice clear round last week with the same horse. So that's how we selected the first round, and then in the second round normally Beauville is going, and then Laura Kraut is jumping.
Has the success that Michael has had in the Longines Global Champions Tour, in the LGCT Championship, has that affected your planning at all? Because maybe if he wasn't in the race with Harry Smulders, maybe you would have Beauville to use more regularly. Now you know you need to save him for that. Has success on LGCT affected your planning for Michael?
Yeah, it's just how you see it. I mean, if you see all the legs and you see Riesenbeck, and you see the starting list, then you will see that they use both rounds the same horses. They have actually always the same riders and same horses both legs.
Very unique strategy compared to many other teams.
Yes, they do. They see it really as their main goal. Also like for example Christian Koekkoek, he has actually two similar horses, Mumbai, so they can both horses be gentle, and Mumbai, they both can jump the Grand Prix and the leg.
Yeah, of course. Nice
together.
problem to have for him.
Absolutely.
Talk to me then. If you're saying that maybe it is unrealistic that Madrid Emotion win the title from here because of what's required, if it's not Madrid Emotion, I'm going to ask you now, who does it go to then?
For me, the favorites is Riesenbeck. I think if you see the whole season, they have been really, really strong. But also Paris with Harry and Ben, they have been okay. Also last week they have winning already a few legs. Also with your Vrieling on the side, so I think they are a really strong team.
Okay, well, Eric, good luck for today. Good luck for round 1 and round 2. We look forward to seeing how it's going to play out, and I hope that for Madrid Emotion's sake, you stay inside the top 4, stay strong, and we'll see you in the semi-finals in Prague.
Thank you so much.
All right, Eric van der Vleuten, manager and, of course, team member of Madrid in Motion, giving us some reactions to what has taken place this season here on GCTV. So, thank you for joining us, Eric. And let's show you again, remind you where we are here today at the stunning, the beautiful Longines Tops International Arena. This is stage 13 of the Global Champions League, and we are getting ready to bring you absolutely every single second of the competition as we get ready to talk about that championship race. The course walk officially underway. Frederick de Backer standing by for us, and we'll come to him in just a few moments' time. Speaking of that championship race, let's maybe just explain to you and give you the updated numbers as to what is going down between Paris Panthers and Riesenbeck International. This is how it looks, and this is how good they have been. But talking about what is needed, you may well recall this graphic. We brought this up in London. Maximum points haul for Paris Panthers here on in. If they are to win here in Valkenswaard this weekend, if they are to win in Rome and win in Saudi, they will go to a total of 343 points. That means that if Paris max points haul of 343, Riesenbeck International from here on in are chasing 64 points. 64 points over 3 legs. I am no maths teacher, and I certainly did not do very well in mathematics at school. 64 points over those 3 legs equals on average 20-odd points per stage. That is all Riesenbeck International need to do to try and lock the season down. So the question now is, how long does it take? When do they do it? When do we finally crown them champions? Well, Frederick de Backer is standing by for us inside the beautiful Longines Tops International Arena. Frederick, can you maybe just try and sum up for me just how good these two teams have been? Because maybe you, me, everyone else here on GCTV has maybe not fully grasped just how wonderful this season has been because of these two teams.
64 over 3 is 21 and a half.
Don't embarrass me like this. Don't embarrass me like this. Go on with your
nice
business.
Nice one. So that means that they have to be very close to the podium consistently. So it's not given to Riesenbeck. Not just yet. They're in the lead, but they haven't won it yet. And that is because, and only because, Paris is unbelievably strong, Mark. We are looking at the two very best teams. Not one of the best, the two very best teams in the history of Global Champions League. 8 seasons since 2016 to 2023. 8 seasons of Global Champions League. We have never ever seen two teams as strong, as these two teams.
And I need to just reiterate this point because someone might perhaps get confused thinking that we're talking about a great season. You are telling us that both Razorback International and the Paris Panthers in this season have recorded numbers that no other team has ever done throughout the entire competition, any year forward or any year behind. These two teams are putting up numbers that no one has ever seen. So let's talk about those numbers. Put it for us into perspective. What kind of numbers are we talking about between these two teams?
Well, we've made a graphic with the best 5 teams and their stats over these 8 seasons of Global Champions League. And don't forget, this season is not over yet, so things can still move around a little bit. But if you look at Valkenswaard United in 2021, that was a dominant season with Edwin and Tops Alexander, with Ening, but also with Peter Fredriksson, a 2.1 clear average penalty per round average, and 58% clear round. That's over half. That is the 5th best team performance in a single season. London Knights in their super successful 2018 season, less penalties per round, just 2 penalties per round on average and a higher clear round rate. Then Valkenswaard in the very first year of Global Champions League, 2016, of course, opposition was different, but they were the best structured team. They moved into 61.5% and 2.2 clear rounds or penalty per round average. That was really strong. And then look at who's on top, who's first and second. Those are Paris and Riesenbeck. And look at the difference. Okay, Paris is just in front of Valkenswaard United, but Riesenbeck is 6% higher than Valkenswaard, nearly 10% higher than Valkenswaard in 2021. So wow. Riesenbeck is outstanding. Paris is better than any other team in the history of Global Champions League with these 3 stages to go. But you just have to put in perspective that at the end of the season, we are going to write the name of a team on one trophy. They will be champions, and we'll always talk about the 2023 champions. But there is a second-ranked team that in any other season would be champions by a mile.
Breaks my heart.
And they will never be considered champions because they finished second. Only because there is just one team that is, both are out of this world, but there's one other team that's just extraterrestrial even more, if that is possible. These 2 teams that we are witnessing are the 2 best teams in Global Champions League history, and we can still enjoy them for 3 more stages.
Oh, that is fascinating, right? Frederik de Backer, thank you very much. What a point that he makes there, that unless Frederik de Backer and I in the future talk about the best second-place finishers of all time in the Global Champions League, it means that whoever finishes second this season, whether it be Razorback International, whether it be Paris Panthers, imagine putting together the kind of campaign that either of those 2 teams have put together to go on and be forgotten in history because you fell behind the greatest Global Champions League season of all time. Where does it go from here? We'll take a break. When we return, more here from this wonderful grass top in Valkenswaard. More about Global Champions League Round 1. Stay with us. GCTV back in a moment.
Courageous,
organized,
dedication,
skillful,
artist,
modern,
genius,
perfection. I'm trained to get in the right state of mind.
I am Peter Fredriksson.
He has a lot of experience, a great rider.
Peter is really inspiring.
He loves to share his knowledge.
When you win, you're celebrating together. If it goes badly, you share it with the team. I like it.
But it's not so easy.
He has a lot of skills.
He had made the sport bigger in Sweden. The sport would be different if he wouldn't have been there.
Biggest moment with the most pressure, he can stay so calm and so focused.
And that is the answer. How could it be number 1 in the world?
And this is pursuit of greatness.
Welcome back to GCTV and welcome back to that. The Longines Tops International Arena here in Valkenswaard in the south of the Netherlands. This is stage 13 of the Global Champions League. The course walk is officially underway. Frederick de Backer is inside this beautiful arena standing by for us to give us some reaction, some expectation around today's course walk.
Course walk of round 1 Global Champions League here in Valkenswaard, 13th stage of the season. We're in the middle of the arena. Let's talk about what we found out. It starts actually, first technical line starts over there, that is fence 4 Liverpool Oxer, that then leads us into a double of verticals of Roelofse horse trucks, and it continues here into this fence 6 of Longines. And then there's an inside turn. I wanted to explain a little bit more, but I see two great men discussing. Just gonna quickly move up and see if I can get Marcus Ening. He keeps on walking. I know you have a discussion, that's why I wanted to eavesdrop on you guys. What is not a problem? What are you discussing?
This start and finish makes this turn not easier.
You are talking about fence 6 into fence 7, whether you can make the inside turn or not.
No, you can make the inside turn, but this is a bit in the way.
So you're talking about going behind the timepiece or in front of the timepiece?
In front is too short.
So if the timepiece was elsewhere, you
then in out, so you can't do it really.
You can't make a.
Hendrik can do it, but
you can't make a real Marcus Ening turn. It can't be smooth.
I don't know. I hope.
Team never won on home ground yet.
That's a problem.
Let's hope the problem is not here. I'm gonna ask you one more question. I'll let you go. Liverpool Oxer coming into that double of verticals. How did you walk that for you?
I think a bit inside 7, that you can really hold at the end, that you're not flying too much in.
All right, very clear. Let you go. Keep working this turn, all right? I can't believe I told Marcus Ening to keep working on his turns. I do apologize, Marcus. This is fence 7, what Ening and Van Eckerman were talking about. If we turn that way, you come this way. Yeah, there we go. You can see, you jump that Longines Oxer, and you want to make a smooth turn, but on your path sits that Longines timing piece. So you have to go around it, because inside you get too tight. Here you will jump outside. You don't square up. So it's not even a turn. It's actually a corner and a corner, and that's what worries Ening and Hendrik van Eckerman. By the way, Hendrik van Eckerman just 1 clear round less than Christian Koekkoek. Koekkoek 14 clears, van Eckerman 13 clears. Van Eckerman less rounds to get those clears. So they are fighting for that title of being the star striker of the league. This is the next line that we could talk about. It is on a fairly standard approach into 8, and then way back sits fence 9. But I just want to move into this part of the course. See, oh, there's the Riyadh Blue boys. And you know, if we talk Riyadh Blue, we are always in for a treat, especially if the two boys are together. And have a look at the smile already of Abdulrahman Al-Raji the moment he sees us coming. See, there's always... Yes. Stay with me, the both of you. If I were your manager, I would offer you a contract deal for Colgate or something. You are the man with the brightest smile of this entire field. However, we are not here. Thank you. You are not here to.
We won't like it because he rather be more serious. That's the fight that we always have together.
Okay, moving over. That's interesting. Is it you want him to focus more?
I mean, it's an important competition, so we're trying to be focused and serious.
Yeah. Now, just between the three of us, is that really something? Is that something that you discuss? Like, hey, come on, let's focus. This is serious matter.
No, I mean, of course, we have a good team spirit. We're also having fun together doing this competition, and I think we're all taking it very serious. So it's not like we need to push each other. But still, it's good to remind each other sometimes to be focused and so on.
He's laughing about. Anyways, yeah, boys, we're almost at fence 12. There's a final fence. What stands out for you in this course? I'm gonna move over again. For you guys, for you personally, with your horse, what is the most difficult so far? What is most on your mind?
I think nothing is difficult for my horse, but it's difficult for me to enjoy the round. That's the most important. I should just ride and enjoy it. And between every fence, that is telling me, and then after you land, enjoy. After you land, enjoy. Before the takeoff, enjoy. That's all what he's telling me.
I want you to record a podcast. It will make me fall asleep. Just relax and enjoy. No, serious. Talk technicals about me. What stands out about this course? Is there anything that you're not sure of, whether it's a 6 or a 7 or an 8? Is there anything that stands out?
I think there is a few options, but like I don't see something standing out. There's from the beginning to the end. There is tricky things here and there. Like there's not one particular thing. There's like a inside turn from 6 to 7, for example. Then there's a little bit a tricky distance into the double of verticals. The roll back to the last double is tight. So there's a few things, and you have to be focused from like everywhere. That's the tricky part.
I asked Ening about that approach into the double of verticals. What do you make of that?
We have like coming from the right to the right, that quite big oxer with the water under. So we have to make sure that sometimes the horses tend to drift outside if it's coming from one lead and going the same lead. And we have to make sure that we don't drift out too much, because otherwise we get the 7 into the double a little bit too open, and into double of vertical you always want to come collected.
So I hear you say it's a collected middle to middle 7. Do you think we will see inside 6s?
No, I really, yeah, of course, if you want to risk it, yes, but for us as a team, and we want to play to jump double clear, we didn't even talk about it. So I think it's obvious 7.
All right, super guys, I'll let you go. Obvious 7, difficult inside turn there to the vertical at fence 7, difficult rollback here as well, and then the final fence to fence 12. I don't know how much time I have left, but I'll just walk you in the wake of these boys here of Riyadh Blue, powered by Al Hilal. By the way, they just signed Neymar for the football team, powered by Al Hilal. Al Hilal is a football team in Saudi Arabia, and they just signed Neymar, and this is the final fence. We won't talk about Neymar too much. This is the final fence, fence 12. It's not really a related distance. It's a long gallop actually from 11 to 12, but we're turning around, and as we are turning, just want to, it's not on Marcus or on Edwina this time around, but I just want to put your eye on the in-gate. Fence 12 sits right by the in-gate. It's a long gallop, and actually you have to bend it. You might drift a bit to the outside. Horses, and I know we say this often, horses might switch off. This is a place where it could really happen, especially at the end of the course, and those white rails will not make it any easier. Tight and interesting rollbacks, Mark. It's very controlled and well aimed 7 into the combination, and that turn back, that inside turn to fence 7 is also on the minds of the riders in round 1 of Global Champions League in Valkenswaard.
Frederick, I see that Marcus Ening just walked past you. If you want to give him some advice on how to deal with the in-gates, while you're there, you can quickly grab him. Maybe just follow up.
I'd rather give you advice on that than I tell Ening about how to ride turns.
Oh, I love that. My favorite part of the course walk. Right, Frederick de Backer, thank you very much. Marcus Ening having some thoughts about whether or not you can indeed make his way around that timepiece. But we'll see how it plays out today for Valkenswaard United as he comes out along with Edwina Tops-Alexander later on today. The conversation then talking about the top 4. Is this weekend then going to be the weekend where it is do or die for the Prague Lions, powered by the Czech equestrian team? If they do not perform, as the wind blows my score sheets all over the table, if they do not perform this weekend, is the title of, or the chase rather, getting into the top 4 done for them? Well, Grace Kelly is standing by to give us some reaction, to give us some thoughts, some ideas as well, and also to talk to one of the riders as to how they are feeling about a do-or-die weekend. Grace Kelly, over to you.
Yes, Mark, this is a crucial stage for the Prague Lions as they try and overtake Saint-Tropez Pirates. Round 1 has been tricky for Prague Lions in the past, and today we've seen Peter Debos bring in a new horse, Ritaz de Magor. We haven't seen him jump in the GCL so far this year, so the question is, are they risking it a little bit too much for such a crucial stage? On the other hand, teammate Johnny Powles unfortunately has yet to deliver a clear round, and Fernando Martinez Sommer only jumping 3 out of 10 clears so far. Speaking of Prague Lions, I'm joined here by Peter de Vos. Peter, you're bringing a new horse into the GCL today. Can you expect him to perform for such a crucial stage?
No, it's a very, very good question. It's also all last minute. It was for sure not the plan, but we had a bad injury. Not a bad, but we had a unlucky injury with the horse before yesterday. Why we have to put this horse in, unfortunately, because for me it's also a big risk. I preferred not to ride him, but at the end of the day, we have to, because we had no other options left today. So okay, the horse jumped really good in Valkenswaard with me. It was his first show. This is his third show only, so it's of course a very big risk. But if we have no more options, we're gonna do everything and try everything. I have tried very hard to make it happen with this one.
And coming up to this weekend, such an important stage. What was the planning process behind it? Did you speak to team manager Alec Kellanova about this and the choice of horses coming in?
Yeah, of course we had very long discussions yesterday night, because initially the plan was different, and we changed again, and this morning we changed again. So we really it was not a very easy decision. We over talked it a lot, and okay, this is the best plan where we can come forward with today.
And also, would you agree that you maybe are going a little bit light in round 1 today?
Yeah, our team. Yeah, 100%. We are super light. I mean, it's everything can happen with me. My horse, I don't know him well enough to jump such a big course. So okay, I hope it goes well, and I'm confident in my horse. But at the other hand, he's unexperienced on this level, so everything can happen. It's a huge risk. But yeah, if you have no more options left, you have to take this risk, and this was the best option we had today.
Well, Peter, all the best for Prague Lions. We really hope that you can bring the result through today.
Thank you.
Well, that's it from Prague Lions. Lots of last-minute changes, lots of things to think about, but hopefully they can grab and get ahead in front of Saint-Tropez Pirates. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you very much, Grace Kelly. Well, quarterback for Fernando Martinez Soma and Peter Vos, as he's saying, making more than a handful of changes. And Mitras Terejor coming in for Global Champions League Round 1. We are getting ready for the competition to get underway. And we also have time perhaps to just show you, remind you as to how it looks now at the start of GCR Round 1 today. From the standings point of view, just how far ahead are Razorback International? Where then do Paris Panthers find themselves going into today's competition? Madrid Emotion then in third place. Saint-Tropez Pirates and Prague Lions making up that fight with the Stockholm Hearts as well. Well, let's go on and show you how we have gotten to this point, and let's remind you what took place then in London a week ago in stage 12 of the Global Champions League.
Welcome all to London. Does best. Brilliant clear, Madrid Emotion. No, he's had the fence. It won't be the clear, but it could still be the lead, and a guaranteed podium here. It could even be good enough for a win. Will it be the double clear for Just Be Gentle and Christian Kukuk? It is. Oh dear, is he going to be quick enough to put them in the lead? No, it's 1:44.56. It's just a tenth of a second away. Oh, they've got the clear. They're halfway home. Catch Me Not S has had the pole. He should be there. They look like they're quick enough. Peter Fredriksson has just won the Global Champions League in London for the Stockholm Hearts.
It's a great feeling being back, and of course the win is the perfect start.
Yeah, we missed Peter all year long, so it's about time he's back in business.
By H&M, will they be celebrating 2 weeks back-to-back? We will find out. Stay with us here on GCTV. Round 1 of Global Champions League live from the Longines Tops International Arena in Valkenswaard is next.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lowlands, welcome to the Netherlands, and welcome to the Longines Tops International Arena for already stage 13 of this year's season, Longines Global Champions Tour and Global Champions League. We are in Valkenswaard, which is of course called the spiritual home of both Global Champions League and Longines Global Champions Tour, with its iconic spider here at that beautiful grass ring measuring 125 by 85 meters. It's partially cloudy, but it's summer in the Netherlands. What else would you expect? It's 21 degrees, which is quite okay, and there's a little breeze. So it's not very warm. It's not a piercing sun, burning sun out. It is for horses and riders absolutely perfect. That's not healthy. Oh, don't do that. There's the riders on the bridge overlooking those two rings, the grass ring and the sand ring, as we hover over Tops International Arena and Staltops. What you see down below are the building stables and indoors, the two indoors, impressive indoors of Staltops, where Jan Topsen, of course, Edwina Tops-Alexander and the other riders have their base, at least their equestrian base here in the Netherlands, not so far from Eindhoven, and I think that is the airport where Ujana Vizzani landed upon arriving from Milan. I guess that is Ujana Vizzani, course designer for I don't know how many years already on the Longines Global Champions Tour. The Italian with his paintbrush, with his pencil, drawing up the courses for this 13th stage of the 2023 season. The grass ring, which is praised and hailed by riders from across the globe. It's actually not a real grass ring, it's more of a sand ring with the grass sown on top of it, so that allows it to drain the water really well. But the grass and the roots of the grass give it the natural bounce that you find on a very good grass ring, but then added with the capacity to really drain water in case of strong rain, as you can have it in the Netherlands more than once. Global Champions League is coming up, so some highlights of the course walk with some crucial members of the teams that we will see coming out later here at the Longines Tops International Arena. But first, a handful. Well, what's a handful? It's 15 of the individuals that will come first, and then we will have the 16 teams. Julien Epaillard is straight away a very fast man to go on the multi-winning Hoeve. Then Stoughton Enkidu, the former rider of Nicolas Pizarro. Then Calgary Theme with Laura Kraut. And there we're already in to the teams with Marlon Modolo-Zanotelli as 16th. He's the first of the team riders. And there Mila with Owen McMahon will make their debut in Global Champions League this season for the championship leaders. And with just 3 stages to go, every stage, every rail, every round is going to be crucial. They've got a comfortable lead, of course, over Paris Panthers. But Paris Panthers have had their blip, their off performance. If it happens to Riesenbeck at this point of the season, it can prove to be very detrimental with a very strong lineup. As you can see, Jude Vrieling and Ben Meer there to go last, both in the individual classification but also in the team competition. The grey is coming down the pathway, down the corridor. It is Julien Epaillard with Hoeve. They will be the first in this speed class, set at 1.55 m. That's the course built by Vizzani. It starts, by the way, at Fence 1, the fence of the Tops International auction, an auction held this beginning of October here at Staltops during the World Breeding Federation Championships. It's not the Young Horse Championship, it's the Studbook Championships that are held actually a week after the regular championships in Lanaken. And during that weekend there is also a foal and young horse auction at Staltops, and hence that first auction with the golden hammer. Epaillard is waiting, there the rope comes down and Epaillard can come cantering in. Man who currently still sits high on the overall standings of the Longines Global Champions Tour, and it's just a question on whether or not he can close the gap on those that are in front of him. I believe that is the youngest daughter of Marlon Zanotelli. Anyway, he lets Hoeve canter well over the big grass ring. Julien Epaillard, Hoeve gelding by Clinton and Carthago, owned by the Écurie de Montchevreuil. And Epaillard, his 11-year-old Dutch bred, he's back on home soil, bred by the Bosch family, who also bred horses like Garant of BZ Madden and plenty, I think also Romanov, no? Of Belgium Allen. And in true Clinton fashion with that very wide tail. Look at how tight the martingale is, by the way. It's a horse that carries his head naturally quite high. And so with the tighter martingale, Epaillard tries to get a bit more connection with the front end. And Epaillard is going to give this right from the get-go a very speedy run. Opens up from 1 to 2. That's the tightest line you can take. And has it down. Oh, Julien Epaillard. Too much risk in the first line. This is an interesting roll back to the Liverpool. And now 7 into the combination. 7. Out of the double. Ooh, the 5 got a touch long. And then there's an inside turn in front of that Tops International auction. Epaillard makes that smooth to the plank, has it down. Flowing 7 to 8. And also 8 here. That turn in, that bend, that dog leg in that approach comes very late. Get straight very late. Double combination. 6 to the upright, and then it's quite a long gallop to the final fence at the Global Champions Oxer, and Julien Epaillard with lots of risk and a very fast time, no doubt about that. 62.49 seconds. He finishes on a score of 16 in the end for the fast Frenchman. Faulted also in the combination at fence 2 in both combinations. So and at the plank, so not a lucky run for Epaillard, who there on the turn opens up in the turn, and on the turn falls to the inside, falls off the hind leg. Here's same kind of turn if you look at it, also on a left bend, on a left approach for Hoover and for Julien Epaillard. His teammate is next, not on Global Champions League, but on the French Nations Cup team. That is Kevin Stout, also on a grey, but a French bred, DMS Enkidu. As we said earlier, the ride, former ride of Nicolas Pizarro, and owned by Ariana Azcárraga. Only recently that Stout's got the rides on this horse. It's the lead change, comes quieter through the turn. And is clear through the first part. You can go as wide as you want, and that's the risk